Hello, dear students. Today we have to deal with the first chapter, Should the Assassin of Gandhi Be Killed? It's written by Pearl S. Buck. Have you heard of the writer? Pearl Sidon Stricker Buck. She was born in 1892 and died in the year 1973. She was a prolific American novelist, spent a major part of her life in China as the daughter of missionaries. She was born on June 26, 1892 in Hillsborough, West Virginia. Committed to the missionary work, Buck's parents, Absalom and Caroline Sidon Stricker, took her to China when she was only 6 months old. In 1917, she married John Lossing Buck. She turned to writing in the late 1920s when both her parents were in bad health. The commitment to writing helped her to overcome the psychological depression and the financial crisis of the family. She published her first novel, East Wind, West Wind, in 1930. Her next novel, The Good Earth, earned her a Pulitzer Prize in 1932. After having won the prize, she went back to the United States and spent the rest of her life there. In 1935, she received a formal divorce from John Buck and married Richard Welsh, one of her publishers. She became the first American woman Nobel laureate in 1938. Buck was a social activist standing for civil rights and women's rights. Very important point. She was a social activist standing for civil rights and women's rights. She started an adoption agency, Welcome House, in 1948 for the rehabilitation of deprived Asian American children. Some of her best sellers include China Sky, which was written in the year 1941, and The Dragon Seed, in which year 1942, and children's books like The Water Buffalo Children, 1943, and The Christian Ghost. What's the name of the work? The Christian Ghost, in 1960. She died in March 1973 of lung cancer. Mahatma Gandhi, who was born in the year 1869 and died in the year 1948, the father of the nation, who was famously said, "My life is my message." Very important again, my life is my message, was the great pacifist who lived in the turbulent 20th century. The world perceived his weapons of ahimsa and satyagraha as alternatives to the bloodshedding ideologies of war and violence. Albert Einstein famously said of him, "Generations to come, it may be, will scarce believe that such a one as this ever in flesh and blood walked upon this earth." When he was shot dead by Nathuram Vinayak Godse, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru famously mourned, "The light has gone out of our lives and there is darkness everywhere." The assassination of Gandhi had evoked strong reaction in many notable writers and statesmen across the globe, and Pearl S. Buck was no exception. Her comment was that Gandhi was always right and was the voice of conscience in our turbulent life. The essay is noted for Pearl S. Buck's condensed simple style of prose writing. The obituary is written in the context of her having never met Gandhiji. That is, she tells in the bracket we have given it, My visits to India always seemed to coincide with his visits to jail. The extract reveals how and why the charismatic leader touched the heart and soul of the world. As a humanitarian, she says, "No war brings peace, for violence only brings more violence." That's about the introduction. If you have any doubt, please ask me. You have to read it twice or thrice. Then it will be very easy. Next, we have to move towards the chapter. Okay.